Good morning everybody, welcome back to cilinixfxcapital, or welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome to this new video right here on altcoins. Wanted to do a bit of a general altcoin update because altcoins this morning have been incredibly strong, alright, so therefore wanted to give you a bit of a, well, at least my thoughts backed by data on whether we can actually see a sustained altcoin rally right here, or that it's very dangerous to FOMO into positions right now. And you should be careful. So there's two main things that I want to look at. All right. First of all, this morning, great, altcoins rallied a lot. Together with Bitcoin. Bitcoin at this point of time is also still very, very strong, and it seems most likely, if we zoom all the way in here, that it's going to continue liquidating some shorts. So that's all great. All right. Short term, it's looking great. But then if we take a look at the data, what do we see? First of all, and usually what I do, if you're new to these videos, is I take a look at others. All right, so that's it's the name of the ticker is this. Hopefully you can see that. I think so. Yeah, and you can look this up on TradingView, and this is basically the crypto total market cap, excluding the top 10, right? So real altcoins, and it's not even taken into account Solana, XRP, etc. Those actually might behave a little bit more differently than others. But what you can see right here is that we had a bit of a look. We had there's two main important levels, and it's $225 billion to the downside, and then this level right here at $242 billion to the upside. And what you can see is that it was actually in some sort of a consolidation, and then initially we had a bit of a fake out right here, and then earlier this week we had potentially a little bit too much de-risking into FOMC, which caused a fake out down here. But ultimately this is the range. All right, and if you're in a range like this and you have a lot of momentum, which at this point of time altcoins do have, there's no guarantee that will break out, but that obviously does create the opportunity to break out here. And if others is able to break out here, look, there's out of $242 billion, there is a potential for another, at least for the total market cap, at least another 5%, with the potential to break out above that level right here around the 200 EMA as well. But that is something, you know, in due time, if we actually get up there, then I'll tell you about that as well. And 5% for the total market cap, you might say, well, that's not a lot. And I tend to agree with that, but that's basically that's equally as much as the move we've had so far. And some altcoins have performed incredibly well. Right, because you have to know that this is the total market cap, right? So some of these altcoins don't move anything, and that brings down the average percentage. But some altcoins move up huge amounts, right? If you take a look at something like Kaito, Pengu, not Layer, excuse me, but IO, like some of these have huge moves, and they like those moves are possible again if we break out. So the big question is well, can we break out? And the obvious answer is yes, especially this morning with what we're seeing from the Bitcoin dominance, which for the first time in almost a month is actually pulling back a fair bit. Now, the one thing I would like to end this video with, and in conclusion, is that given what we're seeing from the Bitcoin dominance, the general momentum in the markets, like, is a breakout possible here? Yes, certainly. However, I tend to think that the best opportunities are or at least that better opportunities are either waiting for the breakout, right? So that would mean buying a little bit higher. Yes, it does. But then you have more certainty that we can rally up higher, or waiting for this imbalance to the downside to get filled. It doesn't always get filled. So that's the risk you're taking. But there is a possibility that we just respect the resistance here and that we start to pull back into this level right here at 230 and 228. And I would say that either buying right here, so much lower, for which you need to be very patient, or buying after the breakout right here, which seems like a ridiculous idea because you're buying higher. I would say that those are better options when talking about altcoins right now. Now, in general, if you're trading an uncorrelated asset, and if you're trading an altcoin that has a lot of momentum in itself, you're probably fine, right? So like I said, the markets at this morning at least still look pretty good, but be aware of FOMO. Don't rush into positions. Use your standard strategy, use common sense, and then you'll be fine and you can make some good money. But those are my thoughts for now. I think that's what you need to know. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.